Two bodies found in Shala grave in Central Village. Police are now conducting a search in an area of Central Village in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, after two bodies were discovered in shallow graves. The bodies have not yet been identified. A reliable source informed reporters that the police believe other bodies are buried at the location. The source would not reveal who the police believe the deceased to be or how the discovery was made. Common law spouse implicated in death of hospital attendant in St. Anne. Detectives in St. Anne investigating the death of 44-year-old female hospital attendant who was killed over the weekend have named the woman's common law spouse as the main suspect behind her death. Kevin Shirley of Parrytown, Ottawa, St. Anne is now in police custody after being apprehended in Higgins Land, Alexander in the parish on Monday. According to police reports, Shirley reportedly ingested a corrosive substance before jumping into a concrete water tank. He was subsequently rescued by the assistance of residents and transported to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital where he was admitted for treatment. The deceased, Kamika Harley, who was employed at the St. Anne's Bay Hospital, was killed sometime between Thursday night and Saturday. Reporters understand that she was either strangled or hit with a blunt instrument. Kamika was reportedly involved in an argument with Shirley on Thursday, which was the last time she was seen before her son discovered her lifeless body on Saturday morning. Upon arrival, the police reportedly found the deceased lying on her back on the floor, dressed in a nightgown and displaying noticeable black and blue marks on her neck and spot of blood on her clothing. Robbery suspects held with Fegun. Two men who reportedly attempted to rob another man on Mullins Road in Kingston on Monday are now in police custody after reportedly being found with a fake gun. According to reports from the Halfway Tree Police, the robbery suspects attempted to rob a man along the roadway, but the victim managed to escape. The matter was reported to the police, who subsequently went in pursuit of men matching the suspect's description. The men were later apprehended in the vicinity of the Spanish Town bus stop, where they were searched and an imitation firearm found. They were taken into custody pending further investigations. American woman fined for disruptive airport incident. An American woman who was captured in a viral video stripping naked and being restrained by security officers at the Sangsters International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James last Tuesday was fined a combined $52,000 when she appeared in the St. James Parish Court. The woman, whose identity has not been disclosed but who is said to be a dentist, came before presiding judge Keisha Grant Price in a calm and orderly manner, dressed in a black jacket, a white blouse, and black pants. She pleaded guilty to the charges of resisting arrest, indecent exposure, and disorderly conduct. During Monday's court hearing proceedings, the woman attorney Mark Williams assured Grant Price that, contrary to what took place at the airport and despite concerns about her ability to respond to the charges, she was fit and capable to enter a plea. She herself has always been a high-functioning person and one who was functioned at the highest level in her profession, but it appears as if she had a psychotic episode that morning, said Williams, while noting that his client was taking medication for anxiety. Grant Price subsequently ordered the defendant to pay a fine of $50,000 or spend 20 days in jail for resisting arrest, $1,000 or 5 days in jail for indecent exposure, and $1,000 or 5 days in jail for disorderly conduct. According to police reports on January 23rd about 11 a.m., the defendant was in the departure terminal at the SIA preparing to board a United States flight to Las Vegas, Nevada in United States when she began behaving in a loud and boisterous manner as she and another woman got into a confrontation. The defendant then went to an expletive-laden tirade when security officers attempted to intervene, escalating her to stripping off her clothing and getting into a physical altercation with an officer who tried to restrain her. After several minutes of intense confrontation, the woman was eventually restrained and was escorted to the Conner Regional Hospital, where she received medical attention. She was subsequently arrested and charged for her actions at the airport. Following the incident, a 3-minute-long viral video emerged on social media showing the woman's action at the airport. In the video, she is seen and heard hurling expletives, removing her clothes and throwing them at onlookers, resisting officers' attempts to restrain her, and attempting to physically grab one officer before eventually being held down and handcuffed. Concerned persons then attempted to replace her clothing on to cover her naked body while she is handcuffed on the ground. In the aftermath of the incident, clinical psychologist Dr. Pernell Bell criticized the actions of the onlookers who witnessed the woman's action, stating that the incident underscored an apparent decline in global empathy and a lack of understanding as to how to address some issues. PNP urges government to prepare health sector for leprosy cases. The opposition People's National Party PNP is urging the government to prepare the nation's health facilities so that healthcare workers will be able to identify and treat leprosy cases should the disease be detected in the country. This as cases of the chronic infectious disease have already been confirmed in Barbados, St. Lucia, and Trinidad and Tobago. Speaking to reporters on Monday, junior opposition spokesperson on health and wellness, Jesse James Clark, said the government must make every effort to prepare the health sector and to educate Jamaicans so they too can protect themselves. He said while the situation demands vigilance, there is no need for Jamaicans to be alarmed.
Raise awareness about the threat that we could be having leprosy here in Jamaica so that we can get ready in our health facilities, so that the health facilities can get ready and the clinicians can be on the lookout for the signs and symptoms of leprosy. Just to be prepared so that we have the relevant antibiotics in the country to deal with any cases of leprosy that we might be able to, and to ramp up the public education too as well, because stigma tends to follow diseases like leprosy and we don't want that in our country. So to just prepare the population both mentally and physically for any event that we might have leprosy here. No, we don't need to be alarmed. Absolutely don't need to be alarmed. I know persons tend to be alarmed with illnesses that affect the figure and the skin, because it can be disfiguring, and untreated leprosy can lead to more serious illnesses like being disabled, losing feelings in parts, affecting the eyes and so on. But it's readily treated. It's a disease that isn't very contagious. You have to be in the presence of someone, having close contact with them over an extended period of time most times to actually get leprosy. So it's not very contagious like some of the other infectious diseases that we have been exposed to in recent time. But as I said, the problem is that it has a very long incubation time. So sometimes it can take up to 20 years before you start having any type of signs or symptoms.
In the meantime, MAJ urges citizens not to panic with cases of leprosy in the region. Speaking to reporters, MAJ President Dr. Leslie Meadows explained that the leprosy to be transmitted, there must be long contact. He said because people travel often, it is likely that the disease could spread. He noted that medical doctors should be alert and note any signs they may indicate that a patient has leprosy. The doctor further stated that persons should also practice good hygiene to help prevent the spread of leprosy.
Because of how we travel from country to country, certainly not just in the region but throughout the world, it is possible that we can have the migration of these various diseases. And you're asking about leprosy. You can have transmission of these of this disease, and of course our public health officials, public health doctors and physicians have to also have a low index of suspicion, so that when they see the typical lesions that indicate that it's possible that this person may have leprosy, to start treatment and isolation as soon as possible. So it's really just for physicians to have a low index of suspicion. It's important that individuals are still following the infection prevention and control measures that we all learned during COVID. Ensure that if possible, still wear our masks, wash our hands properly, and try not to be in crowded areas for extended amounts of time. All of those measures will help in terms of the transmission of the disease.
Man has case to answer in funeral double murder. The court has ruled that Lorenzo Walters has a case to answer in a double murder committed at a funeral. One of those killed was a 5-year-old boy. His father was shot and injured during the November 2022 attack in John's Hall, St. James. The ruling was handed down in St. James Parish Court last Wednesday during a committal hearing for Walters. He is charged with the murder of 26-year-old Mason Shala and 5-year-old Tavor Cummins, both of Grange Hill, Westmoreland. Walters is represented by attorney at law Henry McCurdy. After the ruling, presiding judge Sasha Marie Smith Ashley remanded the accused in custody until April 24, when the case will be heard in St. James Circuit Court. The police reported that about 2 p.m., the family was in a vehicle and was about to leave the funeral when they were pounced upon by the accused and another man who opened gunfire. The 5-year-old boy, his father, and Shaw were hit. They were rushed to hospital, where the child and Shaw were pronounced dead, and the boy's father was admitted in critical condition. Walters and 22-year-old O'Brien Bush Hunter, a laborer of John's Hall, St. James, were subsequently arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder, wounding with intent, and shooting with intent. Hunter, who was arrested on Christmas Day 2 months after Walter's arrest, appeared in St. James Circuit Court before High Court Justin Bertram Morris on Wednesday. In his case, the court was told that the forensic certificate and ballistics report were still outstanding. Hunter also has another case in that court wherein he is charged with possession of identity information. However, the court is awaiting a report from the JCF, Communications Forensics and Cybercrime Division. Both matters will be mentioned again on April 24. Hunter will remain behind bars until then. Crazy charge after being held with firearm. The Montego Bay police have charged a 37-year-old following the seizure of a firearm in his community on Thursday, January 25th. He is Ryan Ramsey, otherwise called O'Dane, or Crazy, of Farm Heights, St. James. Reports from the Montego Bay police are that about 7:30 p.m., a team of officers was on patrol when they saw a white Nissan AD wagon motorcar with no registration plate affixed being driven by Ramsey. He was signaled to stop, to which he complied. He was searched and one Taurus GC pistol with an empty magazine was taken from his waistband. The vehicle was searched and another empty magazine found. Ramsey was charged with possession of prohibited weapon following an interview on Monday, January 29. His court date is being arranged. Westbound lane on Maypen to Williamsville Highway reopened. The National Road Operating and Constructing Company Limited is reporting that the westbound lane of the Maypen to Williamsville leg of Highway 2000 has been reopened following a 2-vehicle crash on Tuesday morning. The westbound lane was temporarily closed following an accident to facilitate the removal of disabled vehicles and cleanup activities. Please continue to drive responsibly, the National Road Operating and Constructing Company stated on a post on Twitter. The crash, which happened sometime before 6 a.m., involved 2 trucks between the Maypen and Tollgate toll plazas. A police report said the driver of a white liner motor truck stated that the unit's front tire blew out, causing him to lose control of the vehicle, which hit the Jersey barrier and overturned, blocking the westbound lane. The other truck driver reportedly told police that he misjudged trying to pass on the left side of the road on the hard shoulder and collided with the French liner motor truck, punctured both front tires and damaging the right diesel tank on the unit. The driver of the linear and the passenger were taken to hospital for treatment. Their injuries are not considered life-threatening. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.